Three guys in chairs talking Seton Hall sports. Does it get any better? What's happening, Pirate Nation? Welcome inside to a brand new edition of Hall Talk from the PTV studios. We've got analysis, debate, and more on Seton Hall athletics in a jam-packed show. We'll discuss the current state of the women's basketball team. The Pirates won by 1 on Wednesday, but that 72-71 victory came against a Georgetown team that has left a lot to be desired. The Hall is 5-7 in conference play, 14-9 on the campaign. They battled DePaul before coming home next week. We'll get to that and more in a second. We will turn to a baseball preview as the Pirates are picked second in the Big East. What's to watch for them as they head to Oklahoma. And then on a swimming junior, Ben Mitchell, he came in third at the 3-meter diving competition with a mark of 326.05 at Navy. He leads the blue and white into the Big East Diving Championships. And before we get to some more Hall Talk this weekend, we wish good luck to the Pirates as they have the Diving Conference Championships this weekend. The Swimming Conference Championships arrive next week for Coach Ron Farina and company. So kudos to them for their achievements. We start the show now. I welcome in my analysts. We've got Aaron Ross and Vince Paolella. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. Happy Valentine's Day. I saw that humans spend combined about $3.5 billion on restaurants. I'll be one of those people.
I think it's like 1.6 on chocolate just on Valentine's Day.
Just the chocolate, maybe a little roses in there.
Doesn't get any better. Let's start the show with women's basketball. And we look at Coach Tony Bozzella. He came into the season, he talked about something to prove, what this team needs to do. There's life to this program. They don't have a lot of depth. They were picked to finish dead last in the conference. And a lot of people overlook Seton Hall. They did with Ann Donovan. Things just didn't look very good. But this team, they had lost 4 in a row. They go to Georgetown, backs against the wall, down 7 with 4 minutes to go. An Ann Donovan coach team doesn't get it done. Tony Bozzella got it done. 72-71, Bershay Ali with the go-ahead bucket with 10 seconds. Vince, what's been the key for this team?
I really feel it starts at the top with Tony Bozzella. His staff, they're very energetic. They get these girls going. They get them playing their basketball. And, you know, you just look at some of the players, I just feel they work so well together. Khadijah Simmons running the point she just does a fantastic job. And then when you can mix in Bershay Ali, who is just a rebound machine, and then you have a Brittany Webb, and just all these components together, I think it's a great team. They've just had a little rough patch, a lot of great competition. I mean, they've competed against teams. It's hard to beat Villanova twice. I mean, they went there and beat Villanova in their own place. So they're going to want that little revenge coming there. So I just think it's a great team, and what Bozzella has done with this team is fantastic. And this is just, this season. This is his first season. It's been such a change already that I can't wait for the future years with them.
Yeah, I mean, since it's just his first season, I say fantastic start. How they started off 6-1 with the 2-3 game win streaks. They went a little bit of a cold patch, but I mean, it's not a bad thing. You got Richardson Smith, who just been a frenzy lately, like in the beginning of the year. Started going a little bit of a cold patch, but I mean, that's what happens. I mean, no one's perfect the whole year. But all in all, I mean, they just hit like the little cold front or the Big East Conference, because obviously it gets harder when you get in conference, so there's the struggles, but they're coming alive, especially for a first season for the coach.
And Janae Johnson's actually been very big in a lot of games, especially in that Villanova game.
Yeah.
There's just people like Richardson Smith, maybe if she'll have her little drought, there's always someone to step up and really help out this team.
Yeah, and here's the thing. They don't have a lot of depth, so I wouldn't call it a great team. It's Coach Bozzella. It's him doing great things with the talent that he does have. Yeah. And Richardson Smith, we go by the numbers for a second, and she was somebody who was just averaging 2 field goals a game, was hardly getting any playing time. They've completely transitioned her into one of the leading scorers in the conference. Fantastic. Simmons, just the way they've worked with her with pick and roll. And most of all, you make your players. What you do is you fit a style around them. He's fit a transitional style because he's got guard play. And he's done that with Richardson Smith. She's been able to get on the break. She's not the most efficient player, so getting the fast break, getting transition buckets, that can really help. And Bershay Ali has emerged as somebody that's been big, and he finds a way to make it work. He's incorporated freshman Teresa Kuchera into the mix, and she's gotten it done a little bit for them. So this team, guys, when you look at one word for them on this season thus far, what do you go with?
Well, I'd say overall, I mean, it's been a great season, but just for as of late in the cold patch, I just want to say misfortune kind of describes how they've been lately. It's not like they've been playing terribly. They've been playing really well. It's just the baskets, they're just not falling. It's just it's rimming out everything. How the other day when they dropped a game, I think it was to Villanova the other night. Yeah. Richardson Smith didn't score till the last minute. That's not been like her all year. So I'd say a little bit of misfortune.
I would say perseverance, because even though they have been, this loss, it can be hard. You're losing 4 straight games, especially in Big East play. You can really, a lot of teams can really give up. But, they stuck it through. They come out. They have a great win the other night. And this team, I think it all comes from Paolella. His energy that he brings, he doesn't let them get down on themselves. He's always there to pick them up. And I think that's one of the biggest changes from last year. It has been the head coach position. And it's helped this whole team, For Seton Hall, it's always been, how's men's basketball? I can't wait to see what women's basketball does.
Women are really good. The players have really bought into the system. Yeah. He's like a player's coach for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, when you look at it, Tony Paolella has said to me, and I hesitate to say that this is exactly true, but he says, and he believes it, that the Big East Conference is the most competitive out there. The Pirates have not played very well the past couple weeks. At least they haven't played as well as they were doing so in their non-conference. A weak non-conference schedule with a couple tests mixed in can do that to you. But you look at this team, you guys just said it, life. There's life to the program. Yeah. Coach Paolella is getting some seats full. He's lively. He's the guy on social media that's promoting the program. And when you're in a sport that is not getting as much attention as the men's side, and it's unfortunate for a lot of reasons, you've got to promote it. And this guy gets it. He's got life. He's got. You think of Seton Hall, you might think Walsh Gym kind of run down the program, had its moments in the 90s. It's all in the past. No.
He's really brought it back. And the thing I love is that he's so involved here at school. One of the things at the Big East Media Day when I was there, he was just so excited. He couldn't be any more happy to be back at Seton Hall, his alma mater, be coaching and just really changing this organization, being around. He loves anything going on campus. He always wants to be there. He's at men's basketball games. He's at baseball games. Whatever. Yeah. He's going to be there, and he's going to be involved. And you have to love that in your head coach.
The Pirates, they will take on DePaul at 5 o'clock on Saturday. It looks to build off that 1-point win over Georgetown. Still not playing the basketball that they were playing, but fighting and still trying to vie for that 6th seed in the Big East tournament, which if you get one of the top 6 seeds, you get a bye. Looks like the Pirates may just be outside in that, but with the way this team can play and get out on the break, they can compete with just about anybody in the conference. So that's your women's basketball, the state of the team. We talk about the state of a team heading into the season now, gentlemen. It is so good with 5 feet of snow on our winter here in the New Jersey area to say that we've got baseball. And I've got to be thinking that our baseball team and Coach Rob Shepard, they've got to be geared up for the warm temperatures that they can embrace in Oklahoma this weekend, although they've even had a rough winter. But the Pirates, they take on the Sooners for a 3-game set. Oklahoma went to the NCAA College World Series regional rounds last year. They won the Big 12 championship. And the Pirates, they come off a tough second-place finish that they just fell out on in the Big East tournament, just could not get to the next step. But at the same time, gentlemen, they really put together a great slate. 15 newcomers. They lose one of the best classes, really, of recent memory.
Unbelievable, yeah.
So
fantastic.
What do you do this season?
Well, I mean, you got to get the pitchers go, because automatically the pitching staff, that's the number one thing to get a baseball team going. That's what you revolve around. But, I mean, you got to go with your 5 seniors to make them be the real leaders of the team. They got to buy into everyone's system, get it going, and everyone's just got to be together as a real team thing. Get it all going.
I just feel, it's Coach Shepard, and you really can't worry too much when he's at the helm. His father did an unbelievable job when he was here, and his son is picking up right where it left off when he took over. And you look at last year, this team was one of the top teams in the country at one point, not ranked-wise, but with what they were doing, with their winning streak that was going on. And when you go down south to play southern schools, you think baseball's huge down there. And when you can go and compete against those teams, that's really showing who you are.
Right.
I mean, last year they went out west. They went to California. They played Pepperdine, which is a very good baseball program. They won a couple games out there. And this team is just – there's a small ball team. You look at the field that they have here, huge fences, very hard to hit a home run. but Shepherd knows how to play in this field, and as well as others. He knows how to get his guys prepared for a season.
Sure.
You look at the guys who left, Papaccio, Granite, Gilbert, and Brzezinski. Got 2 hitters there. But one of the big seniors coming back is Sal Nunziata. He's their real power bat in that lineup. But he can also play small ball. I've seen him bunt a couple times, and it's a little weird, but he knows how to be a senior. I think he'll be a great help for the rest of the team. He plays first base, so he's going to have a vocal presence on that team. And I'm excited to see the new incoming class because Shepherd knows how to recruit. You look at a guy, Zach Weigel, who was a freshman last year, had a lot of playing time, and actually helped the team out a lot.
Well, you look at it, you've got experience with this coaching staff. Now, defensively, that is Coach Shepherd's main worry. But when I look at that, I think that early in the season, errors happen. That's what can happen. Struggles are going to happen. Last year, the Pirates were atrocious in the early going of the season, and they peaked at the middle of the season. Didn't exactly peak at the right time, but you learn a lot from things like that. 15 newcomers to the program, but that shows you the fact that they're picked second in the Big East, and I know it's a little bit of a weaker conference. You lose Cincinnati, you lose Louisville, you lose UConn, so on, so on, so on. But the fact that you're picked second with 15 newcomers, and you've only got 5 seniors, you're missing Jose Lopez, who had Tommy John surgery. It's a huge loss, and we'll get to that just in a second. But it just shows what kind of program this is. The Big East still looks at this program and goes, 15 newcomers, but we know that they're going to play hard.
The type of team that they are.
They schedule hard, and it's battle-tested. That's what Seton Hall baseball is. You look at this, the middle of the infield concerns me, but like you said, they do have some power in the lineup. They have versatility in the lineup.
Exactly.
How do they replace Lopez here with Josh Prevost?
Well, just got to work around him. I mean, Lopez is a huge loss, but, I mean, just the pitching staff, you got to keep throwing him strikes. I mean, work it all the way around. Just really got to.
The defense-wise, last year's defense, they had it rough going early, but they really came around.
Yeah.
Granite patrolling that outfield was unbelievable. And I think what Papaccio and Mike Genovese did up the middle was, I didn't see a better turn 2 combination. No. But I feel the new group that's coming in, Shepherd's going to have them ready. He's going to make them work hard. And even if they have a rough patch in the beginning like they did last year, it'll get fixed and corrected. Prevost is a very good pitcher. I've seen him play. I've seen him pitch. He's had very good games. And, he had a role last year in the lineup. And he did very good. And I think he can help take over. Yes, it hurts to not have Jose Lopez. That's a huge loss. But I think Prevost will be able to do his job.
It cannot be underestimated. There's such a mental aspect of taking that role as the number 1. Let's wrap up the show. Now let's take a look at some of our parting shots of the week, of what's going on in Seton Hall sports right now. And guys, I think the first thing that comes to mind, and Aaron, I know that you want to talk a little bit about this, is the situation with Eugene Teague and Brian Oliver. They both were out last night in the Pirates' 1-point loss to St. John's on the men's basketball side. Their second 1-point loss to St. John's of the season. But Kevin Willard's sitting them down again. Same old Seton Hall. What do you say about this?
I mean, it goes to show you that this year we've just been rough. Every time they needed some sort of leadership, because clearly we talked earlier in the year saying Fuquan needed to be the key leader. But it's all the seniors you got to revolve around. Oliver and Teague, apparently, it's coach's decision, so something's going on in there, and they're just not getting it done with everyone else.
I just feel, I know in his post-game press conference, Willard said he has to be a lot more strict this year. He probably went a little too easy in the past. And, I just feel you're going to do that now. This late going, you're past midway through Big East play. And it's just execution sometimes. I think they were just lacking. St. John's, they lost by 1 point to the first time they played them at St. John's. I was there at the game. And they gave the ball to Fuquan, and they took the time out to set up a play, but it looks like they just weren't prepared for anything. And again, last night, you just had bad execution. And the one guy that I would have rather seen to have a shot at that game was Oliver, because he's been so clutch with shooting this year. Yeah, he loves that moment. He embraces it, and he goes after it. I know there's a little troubles, but it needs to get fixed and fixed quick.
You need to have those kids. And I think I'll wrap it up with this. At some point, the players have to get it done. And you went scoreless in the last 3:10 of that game. And you can talk about Coach Willard and what he did, what he didn't do. The fact of the matter is this. Seton Hall's not in that game last night if Coach Willard doesn't remove those 2 players. Because it's clear right now that there are some cancers on this team. And I know you could say if you have those two seniors, you factor them in, maybe Seton Hall wins. But chemistry is an underrated key in college basketball. Players having experience. Kentucky has experienced it at that program level. They haven't had it. You can have all the recruits you want in the world. And Seton Hall's about to get some big-time recruits. But until you have a true mesh in your program, until you have a true family aspect, you're not going to get it done. And that may sound corny. It may sound this, that, and everything else. But it's aside from the numbers.
That's the key to victory.
Get it together. And this is ridiculous, honestly. These are seniors. These guys are supposed to be the leaders of this team and to be tweeting people and be doing all this kind of stuff. Look at yourself in the mirror and think about this. You've got 6 games left. You've got one chance to prove yourself, and you're sitting there tweeting at fans and tweeting other people. Get it together and represent your program in the right way, and that's what the problem is. Chemistry is underrated, and Seton Hall's about to get a lot of recruits. We're talking about next year. The players got to perform, but there also has to be a family aspect, and Coach Willard seems to be lost because guess what? Seniors got to lead. The seniors haven't led on this team, and you're seeing the bad effects.
But look at some of the, seniors, they're going to be gone for next year. But now look at some of the younger guys. Patrick Gowda had a really good game last night. He may be a little rough here and there with, turning the ball over and stuff, but he is aggressive. He attacks the basket. He really throws his body out there.
He does all the dirty work.
Yeah, and you look at Mobley and just younger guys, I feel going forward they will, they'll be ready. And it's a big turnaround for next year. But right now, I just feel like it's just, like you said, it's the chemistry in the locker room with the players, and it needs to get corrected now. But you got to nip it in the bud now before it hurts you going into Big East tournament and everything else.
Yeah, at some point, it's safe to say that maybe one of these players at some point may just have to be dismissed because chemistry matters. And last night the Pirates had it. They had some chemistry. Aaron Jeremy Poor outperformed what he's normally done. Harold Carlos was doing solid things. Chemistry is an underrated aspect. And speaking of chemistry, we wrap up the show with this. Happy Valentine's Day to all of our families and to all of our loved ones out there, and to all of you Pirate followers for joining us here on Hall Talk. Thank you for joining us, and gentlemen, happy Valentine's Day to you.
Valentine's Day to you, too.
Great show, and everybody, all our Pirate followers, go Hall. See ya.